Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video, I want to educate you about estate planning. And as you've seen in some of my other videos, we're doing a lot of discussion about what's in the news and stuff. And so here's another article that came across my desk, and it talks all about estate planning. Now, we live in the behavioral health space, right? We are not working with families with elderly people. I mean, we can, but we don't do that. I mean, the mission of the firm is to save families whose loved ones are suffering from substance use, mental health disorders, and failed attempts at recovery. And typically, by the time a family comes to us, things have really gone from bad to worse. If you're a mom and dad watching this, or even siblings or a spouse, you've probably been dealing with this issue for many, many years. And we're typically the last port of call. And so we're always, appreciative of a family reaching out to us. But I think one of the things that once we start to get somebody down the road to recovery, that really is important to consider is the whole idea of estate planning. And there's a couple of issues that I'm going to go over with you in this video, and I'll put a link to the article that I read. So here's a couple of things to consider. Obviously, if your loved one is Baker acted or taken to a hospital, right, you want the ability to make decisions for them. Which is why healthcare proxies are very important. I also think a power of attorney is important too, because it would give you the ability to start making financial decisions while they're unable to function. Now, and I've talked about this before, but when it comes to the Baker Act, is the state free to ignore these documents? They are. But my philosophy is that I'd rather have them than not. Why? Because then I can go into court and I can enforce the authority that's been given to you by your loved one. So I think that healthcare proxies, power of attorneys, while they don't stop a Baker Act, they don't stop the state intervening, it gives you a leg up, all right? It gives you the ability to go into court and enforce, the mindset, what your loved one wanted you to be able to do for them. So I think those are important to take care of. I also think that it's important to have, for the family, especially mom and dad, to have some type of estate plan, right? Because at some point, and as I make this video, I'm coming up on my 59th birthday and lost dad, almost 9 years ago now. Mom's around, but at some point she's going to shuffle off the planet. And at some point, the moms and dads that are watching this video, you're going to shuffle off the planet. And if you've worked hard, if you've built up assets, whatever that may be, we want to make sure, one, that those assets are preserved, but two, if there's a loved one in the family who is in recovery, that in the event of the relapse, one, we provide for them, so there's resources for them to get treatment, but just as importantly, that we protect the assets, especially if there are other family members. So doing an estate plan with a will and a trust, those types of things that really contemplate, taking care of the loved one, providing for the loved one, but also making sure that if there's a relapse, right, that those resources are not wasted. They're not used in an inappropriate manner. So estate planning, especially in the behavioral health space, especially when you have a loved one who has been suffering for years and years and years, and then there's mom and dad who've worked for many, many years too to build up this nest egg, making sure that that is all taken into consideration, that's all protected. The assets, the loved one is really important. So if you'd like to talk to us about doing some estate planning specifically for this kind of situation, we'd like to have that conversation with you. I'll put a link to the article in the video description. If you have any comments or questions, please post them. I read all of them, and I typically respond usually within 24 hours, and most of the time a whole lot quicker. I really like the interaction. I want to be able to communicate with you. I want to be able to answer your questions as best as I can, through this process. If you like the video, I'd love a thumbs up. And if you want more information like this, and I try to put out at least one, if not two videos every single day so you can get the information that you need, please subscribe to the channel. And with that said, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.